Hi guys, thanks for clicking on my channel today. My name is Elliot Forbes and you're about to watch a video of my favourite haircuts from the last 7 days. Now, top 5 haircuts that I've seen this week. Okay, so number 5 this week is something that I saw in the GQ Style on Instagram actually. You can see here, it's obviously their bi-month or bi-yearly magazine I think they put out. And I love how this is really soft around the edges. It's really quite a bit of length in through the sides, but the top then actually doesn't look like it's super long, but it's not like it's sort of mullety or that it's long through the sides than it is through the top. It still looks very balanced. And this is just the overall look of a bit more length, a bit more texture, but with it a bit more of a wetter look to it. Not too wet, but it's something that's got more of a shine and a bit more of a sheen to it, which is something I haven't really been seeing an awful lot of. It has been really quite matte. But I think this works really well, especially with, say, more of like a leather jacket like what he's wearing here. I think that then teams together really quite nicely. When people have been having the length through the sides, it's been going back a little bit more, so having it coming forward a little bit but then sitting flatter, I think that works really nicely. It's not super short in through the back and tapered there. It's still got quite a bit of length and fullness through there, but then also doesn't look like it goes way down the back of his neck. So I think that works really nice, and I think that looks very sort of elegant and very fashion, I would say, very sort of expensive fashion. Okay, so number 4 on the list today is actually from the Prada Instagram, and it's from Brendan Thwaites. Now, I love the whole look that he's going on. The image looks great with the sort of like the lilac background and then the purple suit. But the hair that he's got going on here, it looks like it's got a little bit more of a sheen to it, a little bit more of a shine, like with the last photo, but pushed back. It looks more of like a natural oil rather than, say, a real sort of heavy duty product though. But you can see that the silhouette that he's got, it's obviously been cut into a really nice shape. It sits with this masculine shape, but it's got the flick out at the very bottom. It doesn't look like it sits very tight in at the neck. It sits at a nice length, and it looks very balanced. This looks very elegant, and I think that works really well with him. The only thing I would say with this, I think that the moustache and the goatee is not really working at all. I think you take that off and it's a great photo and he looks brilliant. Just get rid of the goatee and the moustache. Okay, so in at number 3 is one of my favourite clothing stores to go and buy stuff from, and it's from COS. Now this image of this guy here, I think the hair is very, again, I think a lot of the stuff that I'm going for, it's very sort of minimal, it's very textured, nothing too sharp and too clean. Again, what we're looking at here, it's very soft. It doesn't really look like there's any product in here. It's just the shape that's been put into it. No doubt there will be some product that's put into it. So maybe some sort of sea salt spray that's then been dried into it. And that's then what would be used to keep the natural texture in through there, as opposed to really adding loads of clay after it or anything. The shape that you can see through here, his hair looks very soft anyway, so having that to be able to fall around, I think works very well. I love at the front how it's sitting down as a full front, but it's not blunt, it's quite broken up through the edges. You can see actually through there, it looks really quite choppy, and you can see the very edges of it. It looks like it's almost already been cut with a razor or something like that to keep the texture in. Also love how the shape through the fringe, how it sits shorter in through the front and then just gets gradually longer towards the edge of the eyebrow. I think that works really nicely with it. And just a very elegant round haircut. I think it looks brilliant. And then haircut number 2 this week is actually from Sebastian Stan. So I think this image is actually from November, but it was just posted on the GQ Instagram, so that's why it had my attention. I think it's probably actually a grown out crop, like clipper crop all over, or very short with the scissors through the top anyway. It's a little bit grown out, but I think the grown outness works really well with it. You can see that it was cut into a really nice shape, especially when you then zoom in onto sort of like the corner of the head. You can still see that actually there's a nice strong masculine silhouette built up there. There's that corner, but then it softens into the roundness. The fringe is still just really soft, just to be able to fall any way it wants to. All you really want to do with that is just a little bit of product and just mess it up completely. When you team it with a suit like that, I think the elegance and the smartness really comes out. It doesn't need to be too try hard. He's got a little bit of stubble in through there, and yeah, something simple and elegant is very nice. I'm growing the top out at the moment to be able to then have that with a bit more of a quiff and keep going back. But I think once I'm done with that, something like this, I think for myself is where I want to go. I feel like a lot of people will be having this as well, especially as it comes into the summer months, April, May. that's then when this will be start seeing this a lot more as well. And my favorite haircut that I saw this week was, I don't actually know who it is and I can't remember who the person I was looking at. It was on someone's portfolio online. They're a hairstylist. I think they do a lot of session work. And I can't remember who it was that I was sort of looking at. But just look at this image, really stood out to me. It's very powerful. It's very elegant. The hair, it doesn't really look like there's too much product in there. Something that probably would have been dried very slowly. So just to be able to keep that natural look to it, but without it getting too big. You still want to have the natural flow to it, but it would still need to have some sort of polish in there. You can see through the front how there is some polish been worked into it as well. You can see that actually the top is slightly disconnected from the sides, just because the sides are a little bit shorter, but the flow and the length through that top and the difference between the top and the sides I think works really well. When you manage it and when it's cut correctly and you use the right products, that can work really well. It doesn't look too chavvy. I think when you have a disconnection and the sides are super short, then it looks a little bit too much. But something like this where the sides still have and maintain a bit of length, I think this is brilliant, and it's, yeah, a haircut that I love. Thanks a lot for watching today, guys. If you've enjoyed this episode, smash that like button and you might want to consider subscribing. Have a wonderful day. Much love, Elliot.